All right, where are we right now?
We're in Rose Hill, Kansas, and I'm in here with my Dragon and Knight. Built this, I think in 2001 is when I built this Dragon, and he's about 2,500 pounds of steel. The Knight's about 6.5, almost 7 foot tall, made out of chrome bumpers. And of course he's fighting the Dragon. Kind of a St. George theme, where he's fighting the Dragon. So that's the situation on this one.
How long did it take you to put this Dragon together?
It took 9 months to build the Dragon. I was working full-time at Cessna Aircraft in Wichita, so I had to work evenings and weekends on the Dragon, but it took 9 months. So it was a labor of love, so to speak.
What did you do at Cessna?
I worked in spare parts for the Citation jets. I've had it outside all day long. I went down into town with it.
Oh, that's great. So what is this? Well, I got you on camera. What kind of vehicle is this? Slingshot?
It's a Polaris Slingshot. Polaris makes them. They started building them in 2015.
How much does this thing weigh?
1,700.
Oh, wow.
That's not really very heavy.
No, not for... You're moving it like it's nothing. What is the license? What's the significance of the license plate? Anything?
Well, legally this is a motorcycle.
Okay.
Because it has 3 wheels.
Right.
The federal law says anything with 3 wheels is a motorcycle. Some states are calling them, they're kind of reclassifying them like a cycle car, you know, so they've kind of reclassed them a little bit, but they're still a motorcycle. And
where did you find this thing?
Well, I bought it from the dealer in Wichita.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then you just revamped it yourself?
Well, I've done a few custom things to it. The fangs in the grill, the top, the scorpion tail. Just kind of personalize it that way. The wing vents, just little things that make it a little bit more comfortable. Because we take it on the highway. We've taken it to Colorado and the Rocky Mountains 4 times now. Been up Pikes Peak 3 times with it to the top of the mountain.
How much does it weigh?
1,700.
1,700 pounds. And how fast does it go?
Well, I've had it up to 100. It'll probably go a little faster than that.
Oh, wow.
I don't have the need for speed like I used to when I was a teenager.
No. No, and you've got quite a collection of motorcycles too. Is that one still functioning on the wall there?
No, that's a half a motorcycle basically. It's just kind of a collage. But yeah, these Polaris, they have a car engine in them. That's a General Motors 4-cylinder. They're good for about 200 horsepower. And that much horsepower on 1,700 pounds, that gives you a pretty quick ratio there as far as power to weight ratio.
Yeah, that's amazing.
So it's kind of a little hot rod. Cats, so I have to keep everything covered so the cats don't climb up on them.
Yeah. How many cats do you have altogether?
Too many.
Too many, yeah.
Probably 4 or 5.
Yeah. And a dog.
And a couple of dogs, yeah.
That one back there is pretty cool.
The 40?
It's a 1940, right? Yeah.
Yeah, 1940.
And they're all Pontiacs, right?
They're all Pontiacs except this one here, and it's American Motors AMX. I can open this door here, a little bit of
And well, let's start at the end here. What have we got here?
Okay, that's a 1929 Pontiac Roadster pickup.
And what is it about Pontiacs you like so much?
Well, many years ago, all my friends had Chevrolets, and Fords, Chryslers. I wanted something different, so I got into Pontiacs because there weren't that many people collecting the old Pontiacs. So I just kind of stayed with them.
Now I imagine this one can go a lot faster than it originally was made to.
Yes. That's got a Pontiac 400 cubic inch motor in it.
Wow.
So it's a hot rod.
And how long did it take you to restore this one?
I rebuilt this one in about a year. It took about a year to do it. I had all the pieces available to me, and one day I thought, well, you know, I've got enough pieces, I think I can build a car now. So I just went ahead and put it together, and there it is.
What would the value of this one be now, fully restored?
Whatever somebody's willing to pay for it. I don't know. Since I do all the work myself, I don't have that much money in them.
Yeah.
But if you had to rebuild it today, it would probably have a value of at least $30,000, you know, to build one like this.
Yeah.
When you do it all yourself, you can save a tremendous amount of money. You know, I do all my body work and paint, upholstery, rebuild the engines, suspension, brakes. About the only thing I don't do is an automatic transmission. Everything else I can do myself. So, you know, that cuts the cost considerably.
And how fast have you got this one up to on the road yourself?
We've had this one up to about 125.
Oh, amazing.
It'll probably go faster than that too, but
yeah.
Sometimes you only want to go so fast, you know?
Yeah. Well, at least here in Kansas, there's a lot of flat roads.
There are. Now this one here, I've had over 140.
Oh, wow.
A little AMX. And that, the Speedo goes to 140, and I've had it pegged out several times, so I know it'll go that fast.
And what year is this one?
It's a 69.
69, wow. Very popular year.
Yeah. I bought this car when I was 19 years old, and I've had it ever since. It was 2 years old when I bought it, because I couldn't afford a new car at the time. But I've just kept it ever since, and been a good little car. Unusual, there's not many of them around anymore. My wife did the interior in it. It's got an all new leather interior.
And this is the one that you've got to 140.
Oh yeah.
Nice.
They were strictly a two-seater. That was American Motors' rival to the Corvette, the Mustang, the GTO. Just like so many car makers, they entered the horsepower race in the 60s, in the late 60s.
How are the horns on these things as far as like compared to modern horns? Were they louder in the
about the
60s?
same.
About the same, yeah.
Yeah. Maybe a little bit louder.
Yeah, just because these cars just seem so much bigger and stronger, you'd think. And then, speaking of big, the length of this one is quite something.
Yeah, that's not the longest one. That's a Catalina, and the Bonneville was about 6 inches longer than this one.
Wow.
This is a 59.
Fine 59.
1959. Pontiac Catalina. And it's what's considered a mild custom. You know, the louvered hood, the custom interior, the side pipes. So it's considered a mild custom car.
And it's got a retractable roof, obviously.
Oh yeah, got the convertible top.
Reminds me of the Bat. Is this similar to the Batmobile, the Adam West Batmobile?
Batmobile had a little bit larger fins that stuck out. Interestingly enough, many years ago, my wife bought me a Batman outfit, a very good costume, and I made a yellow bat emblem for the side of this, and Halloween nights we would cruise Wichita and as the Batmobile, and we got a lot of looks with it.
I can imagine.
Yeah, that was the Batmobile.
And what about this blue one here?
Blue,
this is pretty cool.
that's a one-off type car. Pontiac never built these. It's a situation where in 1954, Pontiac entered a lot of what they call dream cars in some of the national competition shows, and it was like futuristic cars. And this 54 was one that they actually built a prototype, but they did not build one like this in 55. General Motors would not let Pontiac go ahead and build the car because the Corvette had already come out into production and they didn't want competing marketplaces. So they wouldn't let Pontiac go ahead and build them. And I thought, well, you know, if Pontiac could have built it, this is what it would have looked like. So it's kind of a concept car, you know, that Pontiac would have built.
Yeah, I like the airplane.
Pontiac had the Indian head logo, and that's what the little airplane has, the Indian head on it. That was the logo for Pontiac for many years. The Indian head and the stripes down the hood, that was pretty typical Pontiac of the 50s. But
do you have a favorite from this group?
Oh, I like them all. I mean, the AMX I've had, you know, forever. I've had it since I was 19. The 59 Catalina, it's part of the family. And the 29 Roadster, you know, that's our family hot rod. And of course this is the newest one of the bunch. It's so unusual that I can't help but like it. So yeah, I like them all.
And the 1940 one back there, is it operational?
1940, it will run. It needs a brake job, and it needs a total restoration, basically. I mean, it's what you would consider a survivor car, an original car that's not been tampered with yet, original mileage. It's only got 76,000 miles on it.
Wow.
It's in super good shape, not a bit of rust on it. You know, it's just a survivor. It's lasted all these years. The motor in the 59 Catalina is the original motor that the car came with from 1959. That was the first year for the Pontiac 389, which was a standard engine for many, many years.
You keep it in top condition. It's still got the new smell to it.
I keep it in running condition so that I can drive it anytime I want to take it out and drive it. Cam, go on.
It's your guard dog.
Yeah. But yeah.
Very nice.
It's hard to find an old car with its original motor still in it, because so many times once the motor wore out, people threw them away and put in a different motor. So it's that's one thing this has got going for itself, is the fact that it's the original.
What's under the hood of this blue one?
I shoehorned a Pontiac 400 V8 in this, and it was a job. But it's got the big Pontiac 400 in it too.
So how fast can this one go?
I don't know yet. I've only driven it short distances.
Yeah.
I've never had it on the open road to see how fast it would go. There's no reason it shouldn't do at least 120.
Yeah.
You know, it's got all the power it needs, the cubic inch. So it's a fairly modern Pontiac motor, but I gave it the look of the 50s with the old-fashioned antique air cleaner, the paint from the late 50s. So it has that look of an older engine, even though I think it's a 1975 engine.
Very good. Yeah, I don't think you showed us under the hood of the white one yet, if you could. Is that the original as well, or did you restore this?
No, actually, I've got the original engine that it came with. It's in the other room. But I went ahead and put a bigger engine in it.
Oh yeah, you're not kidding.
This is a Pontiac AMC 401 cubic inch.
Wow.
It originally had a 343 cubic inch motor in it, which is a good motor. But the 401 was the biggest V8 that American Motors made, and I happen to have one, so I put it in there, and it has a lot of torque, a lot of horsepower, a lot of torque in those motors, so that just made it more of a muscle car than it was to start with. One of my creations.
Wow. What is it with you and dragons? Have you always liked them, or you just have a
Dinosaurs,
talent?
dragons, things that are unusual. Yeah, that's kind of where it comes from.
Now, does this thing, is this operational? Is this
Yes, this one has a gasoline engine in it, and you can ride it like a horse. You just fire it up and throw your foot on the clutch and go.
Now, did you
Get on
just
in the back.
invent this arms, or does this arms have a significance to it?
No, it has no
Just really-
significance.
okay.
It's not my coat of arms
Not
for
your coat
Brinkley.
of arms, no. Okay. Looks like we got some more. We got dinosaurs over here.
Yeah, that's kind of what we started with, was dinosaurs. That's why I termed this park as Jurassic art from the Jurassic period. So I kind of started with the dinosaurs.
And you just do this for anyone to walk in and take a look at it?
It's open to the public. I get a lot of groups that come in here, and people from out of town, out of state will come in here and look at the stuff. Eventually I want to get the whole field out here full of artwork, to develop a little art park. You know,
Yeah.
that's kind of the goal.
Well, I've never seen anything like it.
It's unusual.
All kinds of creatures. Looks like a giant bee back here and a
Yeah,
penguin.
we got a bumblebee back there. A penguin out of the Freon bottle.
Do these ideas just come to you?
Yeah, they just pop in my head, and I'll usually write them down or sketch out of something real quick, and then I start looking for parts so I can build it. This is my running raptor here. He's all found art. You find something, you make art out of it. You know, the head is a motorcycle gas tank, and tines off of a agricultural piece. Railroad spikes for cobblebones. Suspension parts off of a car for a leg. The teeth are a leaf rake. for
No,
the
yeah.
teeth. You just have to use your imagination.
Yeah, this thing could do some damage if it came to life.
Yeah, yeah.
What's Jurassic oil back here?
Okay, there's a dinosaur pulling an oil wagon.
Looks like you got some antique gas tanks as well. Oh my God.
Yep, we have a Volkswagen Beetle.
Yeah. That's amazing.
When my grandkids lived with us, that was their fort. They would climb up inside of it and hide from us. That was their little hideaway. They've all grown up and moved away, so now it's just here by itself.
This looks like a transformer type of thing.
Got an Autobot transformer made out of motorcycle parts and different things.
And what is this? This looks like
This is our solar vortex time portal. Kind of a time machine.
what do you think about now it's coming out? A lot of people are saying that we're being visited possibly by aliens, but some people are saying it could be time travelers, and some people are saying interdimensional.
Interdimensional beings, that's very possible. That may explain why we can't seem to catch them. You know, just like the Sasquatch, you know, that could be interdimensional, and that's why we don't have evidence of one, even though we've probably seen them and seen physical evidence of them. We just don't have one, and it wouldn't be surprised.
Some people are saying now too, with more and more sightings under the ocean, they could be down there somewhere.
Yes, yes.
But You've worked in aviation. Is that something that people talk about?
Not a lot.
Not a lot.
No, I think everybody has that in the back of their mind that no doubt they exist. You know, the UFOs and everything. So far, they seem to be friendly. There's no, they haven't taken control of our planet yet, so
Yeah.
I guess we're okay.
Yeah, that's a good
anyway.
Yeah, I know you got. Oh, what do you got? Like, what kind of dinosaur would this be called? It looks familiar.
I just call it a sailback. They have that big sail ribbed back on them. I don't remember the term for them. The original historical term.
What's the tongue made of?
Just some sheet metal that I had. Cut it out to a tongue shape. There again, a motorcycle tank for a head.
Yeah. Yeah, it's noticeable now that you mention it, but I wouldn't have thought it.
I use a lot of motorcycle tanks. They have that reptilian shape to them, you know, so that looks out pretty good.
You got the Grim Reaper back here.
We have an old car cemetery, all the dead car makers. AMC, Hudson, Studebaker, Nash, Oldsmobile, Pontiac. No longer produced, and here they are. There's a DeSoto over there.
Do you do anything special for Halloween here?
Yes, we love Halloween. We usually light up some of the stuff out here, and we have a Halloween party. In fact, we had a band playing on the stage there for Halloween, and we had about, I don't know, 60 people out here. Just had a big Halloween party.
Wow. Where do you get the cannons? Is that, because that kind of looks like an old cannon, or am I wrong? Is that a tractor?
That's an old tractor.
That's an old tractor, okay.
Probably a seed planter of some sort.
Wow, so the stage is here because you actually have shows out here sometimes?
Yeah, we have shows. We do a benefit about twice a year for the St. Jude's Children's Hospital, and we have bands that come out and play and just have a good time.
What's your website or Facebook page where people could find it?
Probably just under Jurassic Art.
Jurassic Art.
Yeah.
And I know we were talking about UFOs earlier. You got an Enterprise somewhere over here.
Yeah, we have the Starship Enterprise.
That's what first caught my eye.
Yeah.
But looks like you got another scary looking character here, another Transformer-ish looking.
Transformer made out of motorcycle parts.
Wow.
I have 3 of them here. They're kind of guarding the time portal, I suppose. Maybe that's the idea. There's one there, one here, one up front.
I really like the time portal. That's
it is quite unique.
you put some thought into that.
Yeah. I'd love to get a Tesla generator hanging down over the chair that would put out static electricity. I think that would be so neat.
Yes. And you got another bee in behind
Got
here.
a bumblebee there, yeah. I used to have a whole bunch of those bumblebees here, and I had the sunflowers. I had the 6-foot sunflowers. I had like a dozen of them here with about 3 bumblebees buzzing around them. But I've sold the bees and sold the sunflowers.
Another Transformer.
Another big one.
Amazing. And here, you got a Loch Ness Monster sea serpent.
Loch Ness Monster.
Are you interested in that type of stuff?
It's intriguing, yeah. I don't know. I think that's more of a myth than anything else. Yeah, there could be some big animals in that lake somewhere, but I don't know.
Yeah, it seems like in many lakes around the world there's things similar to that, but it's strange that there's no more solid proof with all the cameras out now.
Yeah. I made this one so the head articulates on it. Little kids can sit on that seat
Oh, wow.
and pull the head around.
It's like a Muppet.
Yeah.
And you got a robot operating a boat here.
Yeah, we got a dinosaur pulling the boat. And a skier behind it.
Yeah.
And we have a pirate boat chasing the skier.
And a whole series of
We have a whole motorcycle
convoy.
club of dinosaurs riding.
Oh my gosh, yeah. It goes all the way down. What's the lead dinosaur up here leading the convoy?
My original idea was as they progress down the line, they're metamorphosing into dragons and they're flying away.
Ah,
So that one's already flying away. This one here, I need to probably put some wings on it so it's developing wings. And I've got a tree growing up there too. That
Yeah.
wasn't here a year ago.
yeah, it's like a skeleton riding the dragon at the
Yeah.
top there. How long did it take you to build the Enterprise here?
I built that in about 2 months. It took about 2 months to build. I had all the parts available. I had the barrels for the fuselage and for the engine nacelles, and I had the stand-up pipe. I had the radar dish. I had that, so I just had to put it together. I watched old Star Trek episodes on TV for 4 or 5 weeks, trying to get a picture of that thing to know exactly what it looked like. So that's kind of where I got my reference at.
Very good, and you got a bridge over here.
We have a bridge to nowhere, just kind of goes across a little ravine. Got a big spider on a web down there underneath of it, and a few cattails growing up.
Oh yeah.
Probably wet right there, so watch out. I thought about putting a troll monster down there with his claw reaching up like he's going to drag you off the bridge.
Yeah.
I haven't built it yet. I get a lot of ideas, but I just always don't have time to put them together.
Yeah. Well, you put a lot of time into this place, clearly.
Yeah. I started building this in 1999. So some of these things have been out here almost 20 years.
Wow. And it's mostly stuff you've got from old junkyards and stuff?
Yeah, it's considered found art. You find something, you make art out of it. I go to a lot of farm auctions out in the country and buy some of the materials. Some of the farmers never threw anything away. You know, behind the barn, they kept all this broken up stuff, and that's exactly what I'm looking for.
Did anyone ever make an offer to you to shoot any movie or TV things out here since it's so unique?
I've had Channel 10 from Cake TV out here. They did an interview on me a few years ago. And there's been some newspapers that have done articles, but nothing recently in the last couple of years.
This is a big bell.
That's kind of a big old gong. Bell, I call it a belfry. You have fire extinguishers, and depending on the shape and size, they all have a different tone. And we have a school bell. Little kids love to make noise, so they'll come up here and play this thing.
Oh yeah. You got some rabbits too.
Got a couple of rabbits.
I imagine a lot of people miss something the first time they walk through here. There's
a lot to see, yeah, and you can't always find everything in here. I kind of like to hide some things here and there too.
Yeah.
You know, just to do that.
Got a Flintstone car over there too.
Flintstone car that's kind of falling apart. Wow. I have a new Flintstone car in the carport right over there.
Okay.
That, has a gasoline motor in it, and I use it for parades or driving around the yard in it.
Oh yeah, can we see that?
Sure. Over here behind the Beetle.
Oh, I see. Oh, that's cool. So yeah, it's a golf cart.
Yeah, it's an old Yamaha golf cart.
With the trademark dragon.
Yeah. Got the dragon hood ornament.
And more cars hidden under these.
Oh yeah, project car. That one's a '57 Pontiac Star Chief convertible.
Oh, nice.
My son and I are going to restore it for my wife or his mother. And I've got a cutout there of a cowboy Bronco.
And
a plasma cutter to cut the steel into the shapes that I want. Something like that, you could build a box around it and backlight it and have a neat looking piece if you would backlight it. Around here we have another time machine.
oh, it's an old barber chair or
Well, it's
a rocking chair, I guess.
yeah, it's actually just kind of put together from gears and sprockets, and the back is off an old sewing machine, treadle type machine. So it's just kind of put together with different parts. I have a motor that spins the wheel and the lights come on. But it doesn't take you back in time. Doesn't work.
And you got a gun range back here too somewhere, right? For all the...
Yeah, we have a pistol range. We have an archery range. My son and I both shoot bows. And we'll put out targets in the field out there. Kind of like a golf course. You have different lengths, different size targets, different distances. And you can just go through the course and see how well you did. But
do you have a lot of pistols that you keep?
oh, we have a few, yeah. Different calibers, everything from 22 to 45.
I imagine you might have some unique ones. Do you have any muskets?
Don't have any muskets, no. The only antique weaponry I have, I collect Civil War swords.
Oh yeah?
So I have a pretty good collection of swords from the Civil War, 1861 to 1865. Confederate and Union, I've got them both. I have enlisted men's sabers, and I also have officer swords from officers.
Oh wow.
But I've tried to get one of each style of sword, and there are several. The hardest one I had to try to find was a naval cutlass, because here in Kansas we don't have any oceans around us, you know.
No.
So it's hard to find naval type items. But I was able to find one in Colorado and picked it up. So I've got too many hobbies.
Yeah.
Between the cars, the motorcycles, the artwork, I stay real busy.
Could you show us some of the motorcycles?
Yeah.
Like your Pizza Hut rug.
Yeah.
Oh, these are great. I like this dragon one here. I guess there's several dragon ones, but
Yeah.
Could you tell us anything about these?
Well, the one over here, the gray one, is I call it Yamazilla. It's a 2001 Yamaha, and 1100 cc. We ride that one. Everything in here is rideable except the one hanging on the wall, and the motor is seized up on it. But
you must pay a fortune in insurance for all these vehicles.
Well, when you have a lot of them, you can get like fleet insurance, so it's a little better price. And it's way with the cars too.
Yeah.
You know.
That makes sense. Oh, that's neat.
Yeah, his eyes light up. He's a lot of fun.
You got a shield on the side of it too?
Yeah, we have a night shield there. We have a broadsword and a battle axe on the other side.
Wow. I guess people know you around here, so they're not. The police aren't going to bother you if they. Where a normal person might not be allowed.
One thing though, we were going to go to a car and bike show at McConnell Air Force Base.
Yeah.
Well, just before we were getting ready to go, they called me up and says, "Oh, by the way, you can't have any weapons on your cars or motorcycles." Well, I've got swords and axes bolted to this thing.
Yeah.
So they wouldn't let me on the base. You know. Anyway.
I don't think this could beat what I've seen that they've had there just driving by.
Well, yeah. But, you know, the sword's bolted down. It's not like I can pull it off and use it, you know, but anyway, they have their regulations, so I didn't bother to go to the show. I stayed home.
And I guess these are forearm or no, those are...
Yeah, we can put tools in there or whatever.
What's underneath the...
That's my wife's bike, and it's a Trike also.
Oh, nice. Yeah, she likes Trikes, you were saying, right?
Yeah. Well, she's got RA, rheumatoid arthritis, and it was hard for her to hold up that 700-pound motorcycle. So we converted it a few years ago to a Trike. And of course, you don't have to hold it up now. You just jump on it and go. So it works out a whole lot better for her. She really enjoys it now.
Is that a biker helmet?
Yeah, it's a biker helmet.
Yeah.
We have a lot of different helmets laying around here.
Yeah. A lot of them are pretty intimidating if you're riding one of these dragon cars. You even got some statues back here, Indy.
Yeah, I've got the little band. The band guys here.
How long does it take you to put something together like this?
I can usually build that in about 2 days. Wow. About 1 day to assemble it, and another day to sandblast it and paint it. These three have been sandblasted. That's why they're so clean looking. This one hasn't. And I'll probably clear coat them or accent some of the paint, like this headpiece will be painted red probably. And the guitar may be black. But yeah.
Yeah, I like the.
I have a wooden Indian.
Yeah.
I just picked that up here a couple of months ago. That'll be Chief Pontiac. Pontiac Motor Division had an Indian as their mascot, so they had a Chief Pontiac like that. So I'm going to call him Chief Pontiac.
Yeah, it reminds me of that Creep Show movie where they had the giant Indian that came to life. I don't know if you ever saw it. Yeah. Is that Elvira you got back here?
That's Elvira back there. Yep.
She still looks pretty much the same these days, doesn't she?
Pretty much, yeah.
Lots of trophies. Are these awards you've won for
that's
various...
awards we've won over the years. I don't know, that's about half of them. I've given a lot of them away and used them to make trophies for other car clubs, one thing and another, so.
Did you get this in Spain, this Matador blanket here?
That's just a tapestry that I use it to cover over my library. I've got Pontiac manuals.
Oh yeah, the antique ones, yeah.
But,
do you have the swords back here at all, or are they?
No, they're in the house.
Okay.
I don't bring them out here.
Yeah,
We have some old pachinko pinball games here. Those are a lot of fun to play with.
Yeah, the original video games.
Yeah, and we have a slot machine, I think, right here. Yeah.
Oh, nice.
We kind of use this as our family rec room, and we have parties out here. But people can play these machines, and
Yeah, I guess this is quite a rec room.
yeah.
You got.
I have it cleaned up, and some of the stuff moved out. We have a little bar and a kitchen.
No.
We have about everything we need.
How many acres do you have here?
I have about 15 acres.
Oh, okay,
what we
wow,
have.
big
It
property.
goes way back there. But
Very good. So Jurassic Art is where they can look
Jurassic
you
Art.
up. Okay.
I may have a card here.
You
Yeah.
play guitar too?
My son is the musician.
Okay.
The only thing I can play is the radio. If there's a song on the radio, I can play it.
Oh, I like this.
Oh, my dragon head. Yeah, that'll be a wall hanger to go on the wall. And I'll probably paint it up with a pearl metallic type paint to really make it pop. And we have little butterflies out of a railroad spike.
Oh, wow.
Little scorpion. I just make a lot of stuff.
Neat. Do you make these model airplanes as well?
Yeah, we put models together. Every once in a while we have the big P-51 Mustang over there. It's flyable. We fly it.
What's your favorite dinosaur?
Oh, probably a T-Rex.
T-Rex, yeah.
Most people. I just finished this little lamp here. It's a little palm tree with driftwood. I picked up the driftwood at an auction I went to a few weeks ago. And I thought, well, I'll just make a little palm tree with it and hang some little coconuts on it.
Yeah, very nice.
Yeah, I got a little T-Rex here, a little hand puppet.
Do you make stuff for people too if they ask you?
I do a lot of consignments. They'll come up with an idea or something that they want. I have a 15.5-foot tall knight, like the one out there fighting the dragon, but he's as high as a house, and he's made out of stainless steel and chrome. It's in a private school in Wichita, Trinity Academy. I guess their moniker is the Knights, so they saw that one out there in the yard, and they wanted a knight, to represent the school, so they commissioned me to make it for them. It took a couple of months to build it, and I hate working with stainless steel because it's very hard to work with, very hard to drill and assemble, harder to weld, so I don't like working with it if I can keep from it.
And are those alien heads behind you?
Oh.
Alien skulls?
Yeah, I don't know where we picked those up at, who knows.
Interesting.
I picked up the wood carving, which I think is really neat, kind of a Viking look almost, a Norseman. Got that in Colorado when we were up there in September. We went up there for a big car show. But
Neat.
we have an old player piano here that, I'm not going to open it up. But you put a roll of music in it, and it'll play by itself, of course. I don't know if it still works. I mean, it needs to be restored. The piano part works on it, but it's a little bit out of tune.
Is the hat any significance to the Civil War, or is that just a random hat?
The what?
The hat. Is there anything?
Oh, yeah,
significant
that's your typical Civil War officer's hat.
Oh, wow.
And the gauntlets, gloves. This is what they call the wrist breaker, mainly because it was so long and heavy. You really had to be careful with it because you could damage your wrist swinging that thing around. This is your typical cavalry sword, Union. This was used from the Civil War on up into the 1880s. Pretty typical on that one. This one here is a Confederate officer's sword. It's got the etched blade on it.
Wow.
CSA, Confederate States of America. This supposedly belonged to General Shelby, or not, yeah, Shelby. And he was one of those Confederates that when the war ended, it didn't end for him. He wanted to keep it going. So,
yeah.
But that's a General Shelby. That would be a cavalry sword. And this one here, this would be a NCO sword. A sergeant would carry this one here. That's kind of the way they looked. Just pretty much a straight blade sword. This one, even though it looks the same, this was probably, it's a little shorter. This would have been a medical officer's sword.
Okay.
Somebody in the medical officers would carry one like that.
What were they using for painkillers back then, if anything? I know they'd run out a lot of times, but
yeah, usually it's just whiskey. I mean, I don't know that was morphine made that particular period. I don't know if they had morphine. They had something. It wasn't called morphine, but it was quite similar. It did the same thing as a painkiller. I can't think of the name of it now. This one here is kind of a rare find too. This is a artillery sword, and usually when you think of an artillery sword, they're the flat blade like that. That was an artillery sword also. This goes all the way back to the Roman days, where these were used as a gladius, I think they called it. That's an artillery sword, but this would be the officer's artillery sword, which is kind of difficult to find. And the hardest one to find for me was the naval cutlass.
right.
They almost always had this bell shape handguard on them, and they're slightly curved. But the naval cutlass was the hardest one for me to try to pick up. Then I have a few other ones here and there. Ceremonial sword. This would have been strictly for dress. You know, wouldn't have been used in combat. I think this is the same thing. Yeah. This was, don't have a scabbard for that one. Sometimes the scabbards are the hardest things to find. Anyway, that's the sword, and there's kind of one for each category. You know, naval, cavalry, artillery.
Yeah.
You know, that's what I was after, was trying to catch one from each era. And it'd be nice to have the muskets.
Yeah.
You know, the Springfield muskets.